Hey folks, we had a great time camping this weekend, but everything's all mud. It finally stopped raining and we have to clean up now. One of the big things is the porch mat there was covered in mud, of course, that's what it's for, and saved a lot of mud in the trailer. But I want to show you why we went to Buffalo or Niagara Falls this particular weekend. There was a dog competition. Caesar and Dakota have both been trained, and most people know they're very well trained. They do almost anything I ask them to. But their training is the training that we went to see. It's not the training, it's the competition for dogs that have been trained like they're trained. Unfortunately, Caesar, with his injury, can't compete anymore, and Dakota is too old. But this next video is about what the training is and what the competition is and how good the dogs are. So I hope this doesn't offend anybody, but this is really good training and it's really good for the dogs, and they just absolutely love it. There's nothing in this that hurts the dogs or causes them any real stress. Everything's really kind of faked. But watch this and leave me a comment if you think you don't like it or it doesn't do anything for you. Okay? Thanks. The competition actually starts out with tracking, but I missed that because they do it very early in the morning and they don't tell you where they're doing it because they don't want a lot of people walking on the fields. But this is the obedience part, and it's done in pairs. One person puts their dog on a stay down out in the field, and then they go hide behind a kind of a teepee thing. And that's what this person's doing. She's going to put her dog by that little stake, and the dog can't move more than 3 feet away from it if it moves at all. It loses points for moving and barking. But she will hide behind this yellow blind, they call it, and then while her dog is on a stay, this other guy will do this routine of heeling and tricks with his dog. And these are two Malinois, they call them. They're not German Shepherds, but they look like a German Shepherd. They shoot the gun twice. He will heel out like this for a certain number of paces. Turn around, the dog is to stay on heel the whole time, paying attention to him. And then he comes back and does kind of a figure J heel pattern, doing a stop where the dog sits next to him, and then he'll go through a crowd of people, fast, a slow, and a normal. And then after that, he'll do a heel out and tell the dog to sit, and then have the dog sit while he keeps going. And then he'll heel out and do a down and have the dog down while he continues out. And then they'll do they'll do these jumps that you see in the front here. But here come the people. And this is pretty interesting how attentive these dogs are. There's the stop and sit. Back when I first started to do this type of training, they didn't like the dog looking at the person the whole time. They liked the dog looking around and paying attention to everything, but also being attentive to its handler. And there used to be a crowd of 5 people, and they used to walk around. However, they were always bumping into people and tripping over the dog, so they decided that they should just stand and the person do a figure 8 around them. So that's been changed. Now he's going to do the heel out and tell the dog to sit, and then have the dog come to him. The dog did not sit. He only loses about 2 points for that. Not a whole lot. The dog did stop, it did stay, it did do most of the stuff, but he loses a few points for that. Now he's going to do the down. And he's using German commands. He's saying Platz for down, and here for come, and Fuß for heel. During all this, the other dog is staying at its spot. This is the judge, and he watches for all sorts of things. Just had the dog stay. While he runs away. This jump is exactly 1 meter high, so 39 inches. And the hard part of this whole exercise is to throw the dumbbell. People throw the dumbbell all over the field. In fact, I've seen people throw the dumbbell behind them. Chewed the dumbbell. Now, the other person goes and picks up their dog. This is called the send out. He sends the dog out, and when he tells it to, it's supposed to go way out and then go down. A little error in training there. The dog was supposed to go out and get immediately down on command. Now the other competitor will do it. while he is in the blind and the other dog is down. This is a noisy dog. We won't watch this whole exercise with this other dog. It's the exact same as the one dog. Let's go. The send out. Send the dog out and have it. Just lost a point or two there, not much. The dog is looking all over the place because they train it by putting its toy out there. Now she'll pick up her dog, and the judge will give her the signal to return to the start, and then they'll get their scores for how they did. And it's very detailed and it's very negative, but it's not as bad as it sounds. And she returns to the judge.
This is flight 5. First to show in this flight, Thomas Shelley with Roberts Django. Free heeling exercise, very focused performance, full points. Sit in motion exercise is faulty as the dog stands. Down with recall exercise, very good. Get down somewhat faster. Long down under distraction is without fault today, a good score, 85 points. Our second dog is a Sierra with Archer, the free heeling exercise for IPO3. Today is in the insufficient category. The dog is continuously barking, very vocal throughout the exercise. You retrieve over the hurdle. The dog can pick the dumbbell up somewhat faster, needs to hold it much calmer as he brings it back and presents it to the handler and could be closer in front. Low, good. Retrieve over the scaling. And when the dog is brought to the basic position, it's not totally correct. The long down under distraction today, a good exercise, a little vocal in the beginning, and it sits up somewhat prematurely. Overall today, a satisfactory score, 73 points.
We'll just look at a couple of other dogs, just a little bit of the dogs that were here. Beautiful black shepherd. Very well behaved. He had a bad slip and got disqualified, which is too bad.
Yeah, he picked them for me.
But I love an all-black shepherd. This was a beautiful sable that looked so much like Caesar, I thought it was him. But that's called a sable shepherd, that kind of a coat. I used to tell Caesar I bought him because he was a sable, and if he didn't work out, I could turn him into a coat. I don't think he took me seriously. Perfect. As much as the dog really looks for a little praise on such a perfect heel, she really isn't supposed to touch him, and she did lose points for that, which is too bad. That's a fairly heavy dumbbell, and that's why they changed the dumbbells, is they use a lighter dumbbell to go over the jumps with. Jumps off the wall. This is another sable shepherd, except a darker sable shepherd. I think he's just a darker sable and not just all mud, although these dogs are all just covered in mud. They jump off this wall, and I'm really glad it's soft mud they land in because they can get hurt. But this is just a beautiful dog. I love this dog. This is phase 3 of the competition. It's called the protection phase. And they're going to send this dog to find a decoy or helper who's pretending to be the bad guy. And the dog is supposed to be protective and guard and do what a good dog does if there's bad guys around. He actually goes around 5 blinds, and the decoy is in the 6th one. And he's to keep him in the blind and not let him get out until his master comes over and gives him other commands. And this guy, these 2 decoys were excellent. I've seen so many people who don't know how to handle the dogs. And these guys were just the best I've seen in a long time. Now it seemed to me that this girl, this handler of this dog, had a slight Texas accent, so I think she might have come all the way from Dallas-Fort Worth. There was a club here from Dallas-Fort Worth. Now unfortunately that dog missed, and that unfortunately disqualified him from the competition, which is really too bad. She came all the way from Dallas-Fort Worth and was disqualified at that stage of the competition. Here's another Malinois that is was somehow bred with a bunny rabbit or something. But these dogs, these Malinois, are fast and aggressive, and they're just phenomenal dogs. But they have a lot of energy, and they require a lot of training. One of the important components of this competition is how fast the dog lets go once given the command. They do not decide on their own to bite, and this is one of the great training parts of having a dog, is that you teach it it doesn't bite unless you tell it it's supposed to. This is a back transport, and this is supposed to be taking the bad guy to jail or whatever, and he's going to turn around and try to attack the handler, and the idea is to see how fast the dog reacts and takes him out. Although the judge is looking for a full grip on the sleeve, and the dog showing no loss of courage or anything like that. But again, as soon as she gives the command, the dog lets go. And afterwards, the dog disarms the helper or the decoy, and they walk together over to the judge as friends. So it's not, an aggressive dog. It's not a dog that eats people. It's a dog that's been trained to have a good time in a game. This particular dog apparently has never been trained with a judge standing next to the blind, and that's pretty typical. You might not train your dog with somebody else standing that close, because when you train, it's between the decoy and the handler training the dog how to behave, and you might not have this other person there, so that was an issue. This is called, we used to call it the courage test. They call it something else now, but this decoy runs across the field, and used to be the handler would yell at them, and they'd yell back, and then they'd come running at the handler, and the handler would send their dog to chase the person off the field. And a dog that isn't well trained actually can be chased right off the field. You can scare the dog by running at it and yelling at it. And so this is to show the courage of the dog. This dog really wants to play. You can hear how hard it's raining. It's pouring on these guys out there working so hard with their dogs. What I really like about this dog, and it's a sable like Caesar, it's a nice German Shepherd. It must be about 5 years old, but it holds on to the decoy's leg. This dog wraps his legs around the decoy's legs and holds on. And that's pretty cool. Caesar used to do that too. But I broke him of it because it really hurts. It gets in the way of the poor decoy. That's a tough hit, but you know, it's all right with the dog. They don't do too much damage very often. But what's great about this dog is just watch him grab this decoy's leg. He grabs onto that leg and holds on. It's like, I'm going to trip you up, buddy. They allow a lot of different dog breeds to come into this competition. This is a Bouvier or a Bouvier, and there are Great Danes and all sorts of things in there. Hey, by the way, I noticed this little crease in here where the trailer folds. It's the hinge. There's a piece of cloth here that's rubberized, and I noticed on mine it was starting to get really moldy and stuff. So keep an eye on your camper. I'm going to spray a little Armor All on that and see if that helps it. But I hope you liked the movie about the dogs, and leave me a comment, and we'll get back to camping in our next video. Next video will be, what, Thursday or Monday? I don't know. Monday and Thursdays. I'm hoping to get videos out every week. 2 a week. Hope that does you. Thanks a lot. See you on the road.